Are you someone out there who is currently battling and in the midst of a storm in your life, where life just keeps on lifing? You keep getting knocked down, trying to get back up, and you're trying to look for light at the end of the tunnel? Well, I've been in a storm for the past few months, and I've felt just like that. Now, the real question is, did I go back to drinking alcohol and ending a streak of over 600 days sober? Let's find out in this video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Jamie Dottie Garza, and it's time to ignite your sobriety. Now, yes, I wanted to create this video. I know it's been quite a few weeks since I uploaded a new video on the channel, but your boy been going through it, okay? I'm human just like each and every one of you, and I've been in a storm. This is one of my seasons where I'm going through a storm. I'm relearning things. I'm being tested to the max. My faith is being tested to the max. And I wanted to create this video because I want to be fully transparent with you guys. Upon my last video, I think I was celebrating 660 days of sobriety, alcohol free, and it's been a journey. It's been a long journey. But in the midst of the storm, it kind of had me go back to thoughts of what I used to do, how I used to cope, how I used to be. As someone who's battled with alcoholism for about 15 years of my life, I finally got back to a place that felt familiar. The only difference is I was completely sober. Over these past few months, I've been in one of my most lowest of lows, it feels like. And it's humbling when you're just battling it strictly with your mind and faith in the Lord. I say that because there was a time when I was going through many storms and using alcohol as a crutch, alcohol as an escape, alcohol to just numb, quote unquote, my pain, to go through it. And I am tested and been tested these past few weeks. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, man. This is in my half-baked voice. That's a classic movie, by the way. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. I'm not gonna do what you think I'm gonna do, man. Did I break the streak? No. As of the video, I am still currently 684 days completely sober. Did I have thoughts of breaking a streak? Yes, and I want to talk about that right now because it doesn't matter where you're at on this journey of sobriety, discipline. I'm currently reading a book, actually, Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. Absolutely love it, by the way. My discipline, it doesn't matter where you're at. What's always been accustomed to you and what you've always known is going to be lodged in your head. And this was a time that I actually thought about escaping my quote-unquote problems with alcohol. Now, the reason I didn't do it is because I know it's a trick. It's a trick. You see, sobriety is not about giving something up. It's about taking everything back. And honestly, when I was down bad, I was forced to think things out. I was forced to understand the situation at hand, accept it, and take charge. And I knew for a fact, just because of the mistakes I made in using alcohol as a crutch for so many years of my life, I knew if I would have went back to a beer, went back to a liquor, went back to any taste of it, I would end up exactly where I was 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it feels like. And I did not want to do that because there is a lot more at stake right now for me. I have little ones who are constantly looking at me as a leader. I have a community that I've neglected, it feels like, these past few weeks, but that I've built on this journey of sobriety. I have friends, and actually, rest in peace to one of my great friends, Jay Kwan, who passed away a month ago, but was on a path to becoming more disciplined, to changing his lifestyle habits, to make more time for his kids and family and be a better man. I have all these different things in my life, and I knew for a fact if I went back to a bottle, it would just be an illusion and it would just be temporary. Like, you know those temporary tattoos back in the day, and you put it on and eventually it fades off? That's how I feel about alcohol. It would eventually fade off and I would still have to deal with the situations. I would still have to get through the test, because you got to go through a test before a testimony. And I wanted to create this video for anyone out there who's maybe been through something like this or is currently going through it. Because honestly, we think, oh, sobriety, once you do it, you're all good to go. Once you lock it down, once you hit past a month, once you hit past a year, once you go on past 600 days, you won't ever think about going to alcohol. And that is completely false. And I want to be transparent. I contemplated. There is still some, I think, Hennessy White in our cabinet that we got from a vacation many years ago that has just been chilling in our cabinet. And when life was lifing, when the darkness just filled me over, when I felt I was about to be knocked out and KO'd, I really thought one night of just drinking alcohol to completely forget about everything, to numb my pain. And I get it. I get it. A loved one that's close to me, recently he's been going through things as well. And he went back to drinking to escape. And honestly, the way everything is in the world today, with inflation, things are going up. Even alcohol is going up. I saw, like, I see the prices. Everything is, the landscape is different. And it's no wonder, you know, coming back from what we came through in 2020 to now, when we think about logically, when we start really thinking about this, when we start seeing the fact that a lot of more alone time was needed, a lot of more escape routes were needed, and how alcohol is continuing to be a crutch for many Americans in America, and I'm sure outside the country as well. As someone who has mental health issues and problems come up periodically in my life, I knew that going with alcohol would take me back to that and might enhance those thoughts. What I'm telling you guys is, why do you think they call it spirits? Some people refer to alcohol as spirits. It's because that's exactly what it does. It attacks your spirit inside. And with alcohol, we may seem like we're having a good time. We may seem like we are numbing the pain. We may seem like we are doing it to take the edge off. But in reality, what it really means is that we are using this as a coping mechanism. I recently had a leadership class a few weeks ago in my community, and we were talking about addictions and what it looks like. I obviously had an alcohol addiction. If you're watching this video, you may have an alcohol addiction as well, or you're looking to eliminate alcohol before it becomes an addiction. I've had an addiction to sugar. At one point in my life, I couldn't control my portions. I've had an addiction to sex because I could not control my sexual desires. I've had a lot of addictions, right? And we were talking about that, and we got on a topic about alcoholism where sometimes it's just rooted in us. This is all we've seen growing up. This is all we've seen from people we love. This is all how we've been instilled watching the things we watch, from movies to TVs to what we see in the media. It's always been a go-to thing to do when you hit 21. You celebrate, you turn up, you have an event, cheers, toast, even at weddings, the toast, have a beer in hand, have a party celebration after. Everything has been around alcohol. To me, it's the most dangerous drug in the world. It's the most addictive. Alcohol is just meant to keep you down. You're not ever meant to rise above to the frequency of what God created you to be and what you have inside. So all of these things, before I even thought about drinking, and honestly, I didn't do it because I don't miss the taste of it. Sometimes when I put sanitizer on my hands, it smells like rubbing alcohol. I get absolutely disgusted. So I know for a fact I'm gonna be gagging if I were to take a shot of Hennessy or just take a whole bottle of fifth to the Hennessy to the head. It's not that I craved it, okay? I wasn't craving like, oh, let me get a drink. There's not a drink out there that I crave, that I want to sip, that I want to smell. Don't want to do any of that. But I was craving an escape because at that time, I felt like there was no other escape. I felt like I was on my lowest. I felt like there was nothing. I felt like Elijah in the Bible. I felt like, just take me now, Lord. Everything requires discipline. And if you're on this journey of sobriety, staying sober, staying committed to sober, remember who you're doing it for. Go back to your why. I had to go back to my why a few weeks ago because I'm not gonna lie. I thought alcohol was gonna help me get better. I thought the feelings from it that I took from it, not necessarily the taste, but I thought in my mind, let me just go back because it's hard being disciplined. It's hard going through life without this right now at this very time. That would have been the easy way out. As we continue to grow and develop, we start to outgrow things that don't no longer serve us. Alcohol is one of those things. And hopefully it's one of those things that no longer serves you because you realize that you are better without alcoholism and the effects that it brings in your life. This is a message to everybody out there. Hopefully it resonates, and if you're on your journey and you're thinking about going back, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it whether you're 1 day in, 1 week in, 684 days in, don't do it. Keep the streak going. There's people out there who need you in your best way possible, and that's sober, without alcohol. Don't let it control you. You control it. Rise above it. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that like button. If you want to see more sobriety content on this channel, I recommend you hit that red button, subscribe, ignite your sobriety.